Second half action kicking off between the Grand Rapids Rampage and the Colorado Crush. Grand Rapids is 5-0 on the season. They have had 4 consecutive blowout games after an overtime victory in week 1. They are dominating again for the 5th consecutive week, looking to go to 6-0 on the year. The Colorado Crush at 3-2 this season. American Conference battle, so we're going to see these guys again later on this year in Grand Rapids. Khalil with the pump fake, dumps it off to Freddie Solomon, and that has been the game plan for the Colorado Crush in the first half. You guys can check out the first half video either on YouTube or on Patreon. It is up right now. You guys can check that out. And Colorado, John Khalil has pretty much been flustered and dumping the ball off to Solomon this entire game. Now a rare toss down the field in the Colorado Crush into the end zone. Anthony Hines. And there's your very first passing touchdown of the game for the Colorado Crush, and the very first touchdown for the Colorado Crush since they scored in the first quarter. So it has been a long time, and now they are back within 2 scores. So it's not completely out of the way just yet. Colorado, some kind of halftime adjustments they might have made, but that is something that Khalil had not really been doing, is tossing the ball down the field. We got Grosh, who had a kick return for a touchdown in the first half. He's had some decent kick returns. He'll bring that one up just past the 15. Shane Stafford, your quarterback for the Grand Rapids Rampage, having another nice day. Only 10 plays run for the Grand Rapids Rampage compared to the 27 plays that the Colorado Crush have run so far. Stafford, nice block picked up there, and he's going to go down the field to Fleming, who makes the grab, and he's into the end zone. Adam Fillmore in coverage, nothing happening, and Fleming with the score. Corey Fleming. So a touchdown neutralized on the Grand Rapids side, but that's Colorado just going to have to keep battling here. They got to just keep getting touchdowns and keep trying to come up with stops on this Rampage squad. Brian Schmidt boots it through, and on one play, so you see 42 points on the board. That is 6 touchdowns for the Grand Rapids Rampage in 11 plays. So 50% of the time when Grand Rapids is touching the football, they're getting a touchdown. It's pretty wild. That is not the same percentage for the Colorado Crush, who have 2 touchdowns in 27 plays. (42-20) for the Colorado Crush. John Khalil going down the field again. A rare throw down the field, and Anthony Hines. So they've come up with a strategy here in the second half. Twice that they've been able to open things up with Hines. You see a pretty good career so far from Mr. Hines. 44 touchdowns in arena football. And Khalil now making some adjustments here. They definitely came up with something in the locker room, try to combat this Grand Rapids defense. But how about that hit by Corey Fleming to jar the ball loose? Fleming is an all-around dominant force for this Grand Rapids Rampage team. Khalil gets lit up and throws a touchdown to Freddie Solomon. Oh my God, Khalil got drilled and still hung on enough to throw the ball and get the touchdown. So Colorado's offense, they've come out in the second half fighting. 42-27, back within 2 scores. They need a stop or a turnover in the worst way right now. Damian Grosh, the grocery store. Go ahead to the express checkout.
First and 10. Ball on the 13-yard line.
2.5 to play in the third. See if Grand Rapids can keep going blow for blow here with Colorado. Stafford. To Fleming. Are they going to say he caught it?
Gain of 8
Yes, they are. Pass complete.
First and 10. Ball on the
8 of 12, 5 touchdown passes for Shane Stafford. Could be going well on his way for another bid at a Player of the Game award, the Blue Chew Player of the Game. Stafford to Grosh. No, nice coverage down the field. Adam Fillmore in coverage, incomplete.
Second and 10. Ball on the 18-yard line.
Of course, you guys remember my first 2 seasons with the Georgia Force, Matt Nagy. Pretty good. And looking like we're, well, Stafford. Oh, that was almost the interception that the Crush needed, but they're going to get called for a flag. The linebacker out of the box. You guys know arena football rules. You see the 2 linebackers up near the 10-yard line. Only one of them, the guy that is kind of got 1 foot forward without his hands on the knees, he's the only one that can blitz, but he can only blitz between the 2 tackles there. So you can see there he comes. And if he goes outside of those 2 tackles, it is a penalty. Willis Marshall at Grand Rapids about ready to punch this one in again. And the Rampage, they could be looking at another 60-point game closing in here. Last couple of weeks, though, 35 3 weeks in a row is what the defense has scored, or what the defense has allowed. The opposing team only scoring 35 points.
No gain on the play.
Lonnie Ford unable to punch that one into the end zone.
Second and goal. Ball on the 1-yard line.
Second down for Grand Rapids. Ford, touchdown, Rampage. So Schmidt's extra point, Grand Rapids goes back up by 3 scores again. And that's the trouble in arena football. That's why so early on in this game when Colorado was exchanging field goals for touchdowns, it was so early to mention it, but you fall behind in arena football, it takes a lot to catch back up, and you see it right here. It's constantly going from a 2-score to a 3-score deficit, and Colorado is unable to overcome it.
They'll take over at the 7-yard
Unless they come up with a stop or some kind of turnover here. They're going to be in a bad way. Third quarter, though, coming to a close. We'll see if Khalil continues to toss the ball down the field, and he's going to get quarterback sack. Joe Jacobs coming in and taking down John Khalil from behind here in the Pepsi Center. Back in their own end zone. Connects with Solomon, and Solomon able to get down to the 20-yard line. We'll see if Colorado can run one more play before the third quarter comes to a close. And yet another successful outing so far for the Grand Rapids Rampage. Can they snap the ball? They do not get the ball off in time. 49-27, Grand Rapids leads the Colorado Crush. We are TB Sports 27. We do everything live on Twitch, so follow along with us, uploading everything on YouTube. If you're watching this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. Follow along with us on Twitter. We have Patreon, Streamlabs, and Ko-Fi as well. Shout out the Patreon supporters of TV Sports 27. Thank you guys so much for your continued support of the channel. And we got some more bonus content coming your way this week. So be on the lookout for that.
Ball on the 18-yard line.
We are still looking for 10 new signups on Patreon, and we'll do a second season of our Washington Commanders ESPN NFL 2K5, and that might just end it for the Colorado Crush. Fleming
All right.
getting the INT.
Nice going, guys. Nice job. Way to go. Way to go.
First and 10. Ball on the 18-yard line.
That is It might be all they wrote for the Colorado Crush. Looking for Willis Marshall. Nope, toss that one out of the back of the end zone.
The fastball's incomplete. Marshall, the intended receiver, on the play. 2nd and 10. Ball on the 18-yard line.
Pretty crazy. I'm recapping to see where everyone got drafted. John Kaleo was drafted number 4 overall in this Arena Football League fantasy draft. Certainly has not looked like a number 4 overall pick. Stafford. And remember, Shane Stafford was drafted. Hey, SK Money, what's going on? 0-0 for the game. I'm about to jump into some of these games soon. We got another blowout here. Grand Rapids has been dominating. Remember, Shane Stafford was drafted early in the 2nd round for the Grand Rapids Rampage. So you think that he was out there. Grand Rapids just got a gem that a lot of guys could have come in and gotten Shane Stafford. But he fell all the way to the 2nd round to Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids, of course, drafting Corey Fleming as their number 1 overall. Shane Stafford was their number 2 round pick in the 2nd round. Kaleo to Freddie Solomon. Yes, everybody follow SK Sports 24 on Twitter. You want to get up-to-date sports happenings? That's the man. He's got all the big news. Highlights, sports, scores. Follow him. We got Lefty Lucky, first-time chatter. Who's goated? Who's the GOAT? Me? The Rampage? Glad to have you here. Hit that follow button, Lucky Lefty. We want to see you come back some more. Thanks for joining us. What brings you by? First-time chatter. I always ask when someone's joining for the first time, what brought you to the channel? How'd you find us? Thank you very much. Hey, we're about to go to 6-0. This is going to be, we're having a much more successful run than Coach Shaquille O'Neal is having with the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, I'll tell you that much. Oh, man, Shaq not doing so hot. Kaleo trying to avoid it, gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. Hits Solomon in the hands, and it's dropped. We got a brand new follower. Thank you so much, Lucky Lefty _23. Thank you so much for being here and for the support. We appreciate it. Hope we see you stop by often. Kaleo just absolutely drilled. It's tipped up and caught by Rumpf, and he gets just driven back. So, man, poor Colorado. They're just they're getting beat up. They're getting knocked around. I've never seen anything like this Grand Rapids Rampage defense. Are they going to hold another opponent to 35 or less for the 4th week in a row? Kaleo Solomon gets dumped over the boards by Willis Marshall, and it's going to be 4th down here for the Colorado Crush. Man, this the Rampage and the Utah Utes, they're going to be 2 of my more successful season. Incomplete. Could not hang on to it. Natron McPherson lets it fall to the turf. And that is even more so going to be the dagger for the Grand Rapids Rampage here, as it's looking like yet another blowout victory as Stafford tosses it deep to Willis Marshall. Touchdown, Colorado. They don't know what's going on right now. They're shocked. Another 60-point game for the Grand Rapids Rampage, and another game where the defense is holding an opponent to 35 or less. After a week 1 overtime battle with the Columbus Destroyers, it has been just domination for the Grand Rapids Rampage the last 5 weeks. And now poor John Kaleo, who's just been beat up, thrown around, knocked around. He's got to come back out for another possession here for this Colorado Crush.
Colorado will start the drive at the 9-yard
twice as many plays Colorado has run than Grand Rapids, yet you look at the score. Kaleo connects with Hines, and that's going to be a first down.
First and 10.
Yeah, this team, the Utah Utes, I guess the Denver Broncos, probably 3 of our more successful seasons that we've been doing here on the channel. I think there's going to be a lot of hype for an Arena Bowl after this start to this season.
The pass ball's incomplete. Hines, the intended receiver, on the play. Second and 10. Ball on the 21-yard line.
63-27. Kaleo connects with Jacques Rumpf.
No gain on the play. Third and
It'll be
10.
3rd and 10.
Ball on the 21-yard line.
I mean, he is an Arena football legend, John Kaleo. He won the Arena Bowl with the Tampa Bay Storm back in '03, so he's been there. And Kaleo for the first down pass to Freddie Solomon to keep the drive going. And you'll see they get one more play off before the 1-minute warning. Solomon, 12 catches in this game. And there's a touchdown for the Colorado Crush, Anthony Hines. But it's going to be too little too late. I'm almost surprised. I mean, they're pretty far out of it, but, you know, at this point, why not just start going for 2-point conversions? Because you're going to have to overcome that extra point regardless, or whether or not they just want to kind of end this game and end the misery.
The extra point attempt is good.
We'll see. This will be the factor. If they don't go for the onside kick, they are not going for the onside kick. So they're pretty much phoning it in, saying it's done. So for us, we got to pick up a couple of first downs to get the victory, as the grocery store is going to try to wrap this one up for a win and another dominant performance. And it's going to be almost, I mean, 35 is what we've had. We'll look at the scores again. Shane Stafford is going to be your player of the game. We'll be able to let 20 seconds run down off of the kick. We got to get a first down, though, to keep the clock moving. But, yeah, it's going to be a 5th consecutive week. Just absolute dominance by this Rampage defense of, I mean, it's been 35 points now, 34 points. And you're going to look at 5 weeks in a row of very similar looking scores. So Fleming's going to get brought down, which means the clock is going to stop.
Second and 14.
At least one more first down, and you can count this one as yet another win for the Grand Rapids Rampage. Oh, Ford, not going to happen.
Ford on the carry. 3-yard loss on the play. Third and ball.
So Colorado maybe trying to buy an extra possession here. I mean, not a lot of time to make this comeback happen. And that's incomplete. So Colorado will get the ball back. They have all their timeouts. They're 4 touchdowns away, so it's going to be almost impossible. You never say never in arena football, but you got all your timeouts. You need to come up with 4 scores.
The field goal attempt is no good.
Go ahead and take one of your timeouts now. Coach trying to come up with a game plan. There's Rod Williams.
First and 10. Ball on the 22-yard line.
I guess the clock stops after a field goal attempt. Doesn't after kickoffs, go figure. So 16 seconds, we'll see Kaleo off of the netting. It's a touchdown, Colorado Crush. So they're going to break the 35-point threshold. Look at this, no timeout is going to be called. Are you kidding me? They just give up on this game? They have completely given up. Wow. I mean, they could at least made a run at this. They had all their timeouts.
The extra point attempt is good. That's the end of
They were only 3 touchdowns back, and you see how quickly you can score in arena football.
Colorado 41.
If they had called a timeout, they had 15 seconds.
Thank you for attending today's ball game.
I don't know. I know it was going to be tough, but it could have been done. 3 timeouts, 3 onside kicks, 3 touchdowns, arena football. Unreal. Well, we're going to take a look at the scores. Grand Rapids, Shane Stafford. Go to a perfect season, 6-0. With the threshold finally broken, 35 points. Broken by the Colorado Crush, but not enough on this day. Shane Stafford's numbers, 11 of 18. 7 touchdowns, no turnovers once again. We're going to lose Chris Oldham for a couple of weeks, but 63-41 Grand Rapids. Here's your scores and your results from Week 6 in Arena Football. Boy, the team that took us to overtime in Week 1, Columbus, they're going to fall to 2-4. The Georgia Force moved to 3-3 with their win over the Austin Wranglers. The Utah Blaze looking like one of the best teams in the league. A 56-33 win over San Jose. Always surprising to see San Jose struggling. They're usually a dominant force in Arena Football. We saw this result earlier, but it is a pretty shocking defeat as Arizona is going to come up with their second win to move to 2-4. Nashville dropping back-to-back games. One of the lower scoring games you're going to see in Arena Football, 21-17. The Dallas Desperados all over the Chicago Rush. Now we got Chicago twice this season. That could get ugly. That could be some blowout stuff there. Orlando moves to 6-0 with their victory over the LA Avengers. There you see the other 6-0 team with the Grand Rapids Rampage knocking off the Colorado Crush. The New Orleans Voodoo takes a 10-point win over the Tampa Bay Storm. That's another team it's pretty shocking to see struggle at 1-5, the Tampa Bay Storm. And in your final game, the Vegas Gladiators had a pretty dominant performance over the Philadelphia Soul, 63-20, the result there. So we'll take a look. Let's look at the schedule so you can kind of see what has been going on so far in our world. And after that overtime defeat, it has been domination, and we almost had that 5th consecutive game of 35 points or less, but Colorado finally broke through to put 41 on the board. But it has been that 60 to 50 point range pretty much from here out, and the defense getting that 30 to 20 point win basically here throughout this season. So pretty wild stuff. As we come up, we hit the road once again. We're going to be in Vegas, and that's actually going to be, we got 2 of the toughest games of the season coming up, and they're going to be during the week. So you would imagine that's going to be national TV. We go to Vegas, and then we have the Utah Blaze. So, well, we thought Nashville was going to be a test, and you see we haven't really been playing the strongest teams. This is going to be a test right here, these 2 weeks, to see, is this team for real as we take on the Gladiators and the Blaze. Then I mentioned those Chicago Rush games, which could be kind of ugly down the stretch for that team. Look at the standings in the Arena Football League. You mentioned it. Coming up the next couple of weeks, the top 3 teams in the American Conference all going to be going at it. Grand Rapids, Utah, Las Vegas. That's when you are not going to want to miss that. And then on the national side of things, the Predators and the Desperados leading the way, but it's still open season for those final couple of spots. The Force, the Voodoo, the Soul, and the Dragons all in the mix. When we get to the halfway point of the season, we're going to take a look at some stats, so stay tuned for that. We're going to look at all the stats when we get to the midway point, so be on the lookout. But this has been TV Sports 27, and this has been the Arena Football League franchise. 2 undefeated teams remaining. The quest to Las Vegas. We're going to step into the Thomas and Mack Center for the very first time this season, and perhaps in 8 weeks or 10 weeks when you add the playoffs in, we'll be stepping on that field again for the Arena Bowl. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for checking out TB Sports 27. Go ahead and support the channel. There's all the links where you can support TB Sports, and we're going to see you guys next time.